For the single leg ankle isos, we're actually working our foot, our ankle, our calf, and our soleus. So it's really giving us a lot of bang for our buck. We're going to bias it a couple different ways, whether that's for the more biased toward the calf or more biased towards the soleus. And then we're also going to change that by putting some pressure on some different places of our foot. So when it's telling you to go ahead and focus on M1+2, that's going to be the head of the first and second metatarsal. So that's going to be right here. So at the ball, kind of like at the ball of your foot, okay? The other one is going to be the fifth head of the metatarsal, which is going to be right over here. So if you look at your foot and you have those two spots that stick out on the ball of your foot, those are going to be the two places that we're going to do. So if we're doing the first and second metatarsal head, I'm going to have a little bit more of my foot hanging off. If I'm doing focus on the fifth, then I'm going to have a little bit more of my foot on, and there's going to be a little bit less hanging off. So those are the only two differences. And your whole, don't worry about that stuff too much. Just a little bit further forward, a little bit further back. Okay, so we go ahead and set up here. Come up against the wall, fingertips are going to be in that position. Okay, so we're not having to lean completely against it because we really want to make sure the weight's loaded in the right spot. So we'll start off for the first one. I'm going to go ahead and try and focus on getting my first and second metatarsal head on here. From this position, I'm going to go ahead and stand up. Okay, I'm going to get nice and tall, making sure that glute for that leg that's down is nice and active. Okay, this is the same position that you're going to be in if you're extending your hip, so that hip should be extended, which means your glute should be tight. We're going to go ahead and hold here, making sure I'm not going too low and I'm not going too high. Okay, I'm just focusing here, making sure I'm not sagging out to the side by keeping that glute nice and extended. And then I'm going to hold here, pushing through the wood block. Okay, to switch over to the fifth one, I'm just going to bring my foot more forward onto the board or book. Doesn't really matter, whatever you can do to get it higher. From here, we're going to set it the same, making sure that we're nice and tall. Find that position, not too low, not too high here. And then we're just going to hold for time, trying to create as much tension as I can. Push, 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 push. Okay, those are going to be the two for the calf. Okay, for the soleus, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. All we're going to be doing is bending our knee a little bit more. So we'll start first and second metatarsal head, putting them here. Okay, setting up, bending that knee a little bit more, and then from here I'm doing the same stuff. Boom, 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 keeping all that tension, feeling it in the glute. You'll feel kind of how this changes. Okay, keeping it bent, keeping it bent. If you can, try and sink a little bit deeper into it as we stay nice and stiff through that foot. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead, bring it forward. Bend that knee. Stay nice and stiff. Hold, hold, hold. Not too low, not too high. Just right. Okay, like we said before, what we're trying to do, the ball of the foot and the place where we're putting this all into position is where we're trying to create stiffness, because that's where we want to strike. Okay, and be stiff when we're into the ground, whether we're sprinting, whether we're doing something like a drop jump. Okay, that's where all of this comes into play. And that's it.